Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
First, a word from our sponsor. The Daily Compliance News for September 17, 2022, the Uber Cyberbreach edition. And we begin with that story from the Wall Street Journal. Uber responds to a breach after a hacker claimed to have gained widespread access to the company's computer systems. Uber says it's responding as a hacker identified as Teapot gained control of Uber's account with HackerOne, a firm that helps companies work with securities researchers. The hacker provided security researchers with screenshots that appeared to show widespread access to a range of administrative accounts that manages Uber's technology systems, including Amazon Web Services, Google Clouds, VMware, etc. If the hacker's claims are true, the incident would represent a broad compromise for the company. Next up, for those who wonder why the Great Resignation is happening, you only need to look at the near catastrophe from the railroad strike that was averted by the Trump administration. This strike was not over pay or wages, it was over scheduling. And it was over the way that railroads had treated workers by effectively forcing members to remain on call for days and sometimes weeks at a time through the use of strict attendance policies that could lead to disciplinary action or termination. And this was all an attempt to have greater efficiency from the business, but businesses need to understand that greater efficiency can lead to mental health and deterioration of employees. And when it's so bad that workers are willing to literally go on strike, companies really need to sit up and listen. And fortunately, they listened to the Biden administration. Next up from CryptoBriefing, a first-time contributor to the Daily Compliance News. The White House has indicated, or rather is finally taking action to increase its regulatory oversight of the digital asset space. The White House published its first ever crypto framework covering key areas of cryptocurrency space that the Biden administration wants to put on focus. It highlights the need for protecting consumers, preventing crypto-related crime, and maintaining the country's standing as the global financial powerhouse. It also shed further light on the government's plan to launch a CBDC, which is the framework for moving all of this forward. So good to see the government putting this out there. Hopefully Congress will also give authorization for this. And it's a clear sign the government wants to support the growth of digital assets, but in a safe and secure way. And finally, from the FCPABlog, the Brazilian airline GOL agreed to pay the DOJ and SEC some $41.5 million for an FCPA settlement. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.
This podcast is a part of the C-Suite Radio Network. For more top business podcasts, visit c-suiteradio.com.